What's up, everybody? We are Joystick Jabber. We are a podcast that talks about games, video games, video game news, pop culture sometimes. A bunch of different nerd stuff. So, how's it going? We typically start the podcast off just talking about what we've been up to. So, what have you been up to?
Well, yesterday I beat the Tekken 8 story mode finally. Well, finally. It only took like 2 days.
I was gonna say, I didn't even know you started it.
Yeah, no, but part 1 went up today, which is, it's Friday since we're recording this.
Yeah,
but
we usually record on Fridays, FYI.
Yeah, so part 1 went up today. It's gonna be 4 parts. I just have to sort it all. I think I already have part 2 uploaded. It's just scheduled. Yeah, that story is insane.
Yeah.
Like, it is ridiculous. Like, the final fight, it's like 20 rounds.
Really?
But it goes through so many different phases. It's just, it's constant. But it's definitely like a worthy conclusion to the whole, like, Kazuya and Jin battle. Well, basically just like the whole family.
Interesting
Thing.
I wonder where they'll go with Tekken 9.
Well, they already hint at it with the new character Reina.
Oh, okay.
So, you didn't see it, but if you would see it, I don't know how I feel about it yet, because it's like they just got done solving this, and then they just bring it back right away. It's not like a bad thing. I just don't know what they're gonna do with it in the future.
Oh, yeah. I'm waiting to just watch your story playthrough of it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like, I'm Rada, goddess of time.
No,
It just resets the whole timeline.
No, it's nothing like that. But yeah. So I beat that. Prince of Persia was also finished. The finale went up yesterday. That's done. That game was actually surprisingly really good.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of people, like different streamers and stuff, also playing it. So I was surprised, because most of the time, Prince of Persia, at least in the past, like, couple of iterations of it have just been but it's good to hear that it's good.
Yeah, Forgotten Sands and the cell shaded one were just okay, I guess.
I mean, I didn't mind. So I have played Forgotten Sands.
But yeah,
I didn't mind that one. They're very different games from each other.
Yeah, well, Forgotten Sands' main problem, I heard the Wii version of it was actually like a lot better, but the 360 and PS3 version, it was just extremely short. And by the time you get all of your abilities, the parkour gets extremely fun, like the platforming, when you have everything, like you can freeze the water and like do all this stuff. But you don't get that until you're pretty much done with the game. Like, where you have all of it and it utilizes all of it. So there's that. The cel-shaded one's not that bad either. It's just the way the fighting system is, you're just like focused on like one person and there's very few fights. Mm-hmm. So it's mostly just a platforming game, and then they handicap the platforming. You can't actually fall to your death. The female companion you have saves you from falling.
Oh, really?
So it's a very straightforward game, but
playing it
was still fun.
Yeah.
I still liked it, but yeah, so there was that. And then now that I'm done with the Tekken 8 story, I'm probably gonna be doing live streams for like the character episodes and the arcade quest, just to play the game. But as far as recording wise, after that, it's Suicide Squad.
Yeah, everyone's favorite, what everyone has been talking about. Not good things.
I think IGN's review finally came out, and they gave it like a 5.
I mean,
it's one of those
probably
things.
Probably around what I would have thought.
Yeah, I'm gonna see how the story is for myself.
That's gonna be the one saving grace of the game, I think, is the story.
Maybe they could just ruin the story.
Yeah, they could.
Might have good cutscenes, but the contents of the cutscenes might be dumb.
The little bit of the story that I played when we did the beta, or not beta, like the stress test or whatever, it was interesting. I'll say that much. Like,
yeah.
It was interesting, and then it puts you into the actual game of doing, like, the actual act of doing it, whatever happened in the scenes, and then it's like, oh yeah, it's this. So,
like one of our viewers, Eric, I give him shit for Saints reboot. Now he can give me shit for Suicide Squad.
That's true.
But I mean, I'm allowed one.
Yeah.
I mean, I avoid Call of Duty. I avoid Madden.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
But for me, even if a game gets poor reviews, but I'm like interested in it simply because of like certain things, I'll buy it and see for myself.
Yeah. Typically, you're more. That's what was surprising to me about that, was that you're usually more of someone who is like, I'll just wait to see like what they say about it and stuff, and like if things do come out that are bad, you're like you don't get it.
It depends on the game though, because like in this case, it's mainly because I have a huge bias towards the Arkhamverse.
Yeah.
Which is probably a bad thing.
That's
for
probably
me.
that's probably how they got a lot of people.
That is most likely how they did. Because the reason why I also got Gotham Knights is because I'm just a huge Batman fan.
Yeah.
But I actually didn't mind Gotham Knights.
I enjoyed Gotham Knights.
It had horrible optimization at launch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because even on a 3090, that game had problems.
Yeah, Gotham Knights was interesting. Again, that was one where the story was pretty good.
It'll probably, going in the future, it'll probably be regarded as a better game than Suicide Squad.
I enjoyed we beat Gotham Knights together, I believe.
Yeah, we did co-opt it.
And like playing it just Suicide Squad just feels like a worse version of Gotham Knights.
Yeah, well, the thing that like with Gotham Knights, even though the combat isn't what I wanted it to be. Like I'd much rather it have been like really free flow and fluent like Spider-Man and the Arkham games.
Yeah.
But the characters still felt like unique compared to each other.
Yeah.
Whereas in Suicide Squad, the only thing really unique is their traversal. Like when you're actually just playing the game, you can kind of play as anyone you feel like it. You're just shooting and stuff like that. So it's not like Gotham Knights where you actually feel different. Like Red Hood does not feel like Nightwing
or Robin
or Robin.
Yeah. That's one thing is that I never really played as Robin. I played a little bit as Nightwing. Most of the time I played as Red Hood.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed him. He was obviously like a very ranged character, but yeah, I enjoyed playing as him. But yeah, for me, I'm like as usual, a lot of editing. I've been doing some Enshrouded, it's kind of just playing through that. To me, it's a very, very enjoyable, like laid back experience for a game. Messed around a little bit because I have been streaming it more, and I've been messing around a little bit off stream with some of the building and stuff. Finally built all of my crafts people their own rooms, so they don't have to just stand around my bed and watch me sleep.
But dude, you wanted that.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, I'd put windows so they can all sit there and watch me sleep still. But no, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just
windows
kidding.
in the house.
Yeah,
that don't look outside.
Yeah, they look into the other people's rooms. It's cool because like I built the blacksmith his own area with like he has his kiln and his forge in there, and it's all stone, so he doesn't. I know he's not gonna burn it down. I tested it
yet,
but it's just cool that you can do that. I'm excited to see like as I keep progressing what I can do more. There's still a couple of like characters that I have to get like craftspeople, but I want to be able to make more bombs. Because there's something that I want to do, but we'll see if that's even the case, or if I just need to collect them around the map or something. Yes. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing, and then some Texas Chainsaw, but still, don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to stay up with that game. Honestly,
well,
man.
Dude, there's going to be new content soon.
There will be, but how? I don't know.
I mean, you're excited for the choose flight.
Yeah, so I'm if you've watched any of my streams, you know that I'm already pissed about the fact that victims are severely nerfed in comparison to the family, which doesn't make sense to me from an asymmetrical horror game perspective.
They all do.
Like, you'd think that it should just be a balanced experience, but that's the thing, is that it technically is. Like, it is a balanced experience. The only problem that is that it's not a balanced experience if both like sides aren't grouped.
Yeah.
Like they're balancing it from a group perspective. So like if you have a full group of victims versus a full group of like killers, then yes. But if you're just searching for random people, definitely not balanced. Especially if you're like in a group of randoms and you find a group of people who are all together, like you're screwed.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the Texas Chainsaw rant, just a little bit.
What if Enshrouded though? circling back to that, what if it's one of those early access games where once they hit like certain versions, like 1.0 or something like that, they have to make drastic changes to the seeds, so they have to reset all your progress?
Oh my god, that would suck. Dude, that would actually suck.
I noticed that is what a lot of early access games have been doing lately.
Oof.
Is they make you start over. I think there was another one that recently did it too. I think it was Wild West Dynasty. When they said that when they go to 1.0, they're gonna have to, they like recommend just starting a new save, or they're gonna have to start you over. But that game's kind of different story than Enshrouded.
Yeah, that would really suck, because like story quest wise, but it's weird because your character level and everything like that you can bring your character in any world, and like his level, or his or her level, will stay the same.
Yeah.
So like that is different, I think, to a lot of those types of games. I know 7 Days, I think that they just have like versions that like once they update, you still have the saves of that version. I think you can still play technically on that version, but you won't have, I don't know exactly how it works, but it's something similar to that, I think.
I think the last time that Tiger played it, I think he said that his save was gone.
Oh, like they deleted it?
Yeah, or that it wasn't readable or something like that.
Yeah, I mean that would suck. But I think that they have the different versions that you can like via. I could be wrong, but I think that it's one of those games where you can go back to the different versions.
You might be able to
through Steam.
But I mean, then you lose out on whatever new features.
The new stuff,
added,
yeah. But yeah, I mean that is if you just want to keep playing on your same profile, you know what I mean? Like a lot of times if I'm coming back to the games like that, like I'm not gonna just like jump back into the one I was on. I'm just gonna start fresh anyway. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing. Doing some more editing of RoboCop internally.
Dude, you also had your Wooger Vest video.
And Wooger Vest, yes. If you guys haven't seen that, you should go and check out my Wooger Vest 3 unboxing and review. That was an intense experience, and I'm trying to use it more on stream. It's just I use it like off stream, and then it dies, and then I have to charge it, like, and then I don't have it for stream.
You gotta get like a small generator thing to constantly power it.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there during my stream. All you hear is yeah, it's just like a gas powered generator. I'm just dead. Just passed out. Yeah. Ryan?
Just kept the door shut.
Yeah. Oh, shoot, I should have vented this place.
But you'll also have a new smoke machine, so nobody would be able to tell if it was the smoke machine or that.
For my new intros, yeah. As I go onto the streams, like it's literally a laser light show, smoke machines. There's people just doing pile drivers.
You have a Wooger helmet.
Yeah, just... I'm sure that'll be very good when I'm like 80 years old.
Yeah.
But no, that's what I've been doing. Yeah, you guys should definitely go and check that out. It was a fun video to make, honestly, just to like show the reaction of it and trying it out for the first time, then being able to show other people like my reaction to it is.
Yeah, and like being able to be like, dude, do you guys feel this? 'Cause I do.
Yeah, exactly. Can you guys feel this?
Like, no.
No, we can't. You're missing out. Yeah, no, it's good. It's awesome. I think there's like different versions of it too. There's the Vest 3, and then I think there's also like a chest strap that you can get. Obviously, I don't think it's as crazy. But yeah, with the Vest 3, I was playing Call of Duty, and like the explosions and everything is just nuts, man. It's nuts. I was just trying to think of the craziest game that I possibly could. Shipment is what I was really trying to get on, which is, I don't know if you know Call of Duty Shipment, but I know you're not a Call of Duty person.
I might have seen you on it. Is it just with all the shipping containers everywhere?
It's like the smallest map, and it's just chaos constantly. Like if I was playing that, my vest would have just vibrated off. It would have done like what the Flash does, where it vibrates through.
Yeah.
That's what that would have
like defibrillated you or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it would have just phased right through me from all the vibrations. But yeah, that was a fun one. That's about it though. Not too much crazy. Not too many new games I've been playing. I've wanted to try Pal World obviously because everyone's been talking about it. But after watching it, like I've never really been a huge Pokemon guy, and I feel like that's the type of people that would get into the game are like Pokemon people.
I didn't have any interest in Pal World.
I mean, I just want to try it just because it's like a global phenomenon type of thing. Not because I'm like hugely interested in the game.
Well, I mean, might as well while you can. If Nintendo finds something to go after them for.
That's true. I could probably get it and then sell my Steam account for like $1 billion.
Yeah, unless Steam just force refunds everybody.
Ooh.
Like Days Gone. Or the day before.
Yeah.
The day before.
Wait, they force refunded everybody? Like they can't even have it on their account anymore?
No, they like forcibly removed it. There was people in the forums who were like, what if I wanted to keep the game, Steam? Like, well, we gave you your money back.
Yeah.
I was like, I just want to collect it.
I wonder why they did that. That is weird. Well,
because you can't play it anyways. So you can't log in and play it. You're just stuck on the main menu.
Yeah. That's weird to me though.
I mean, that's just how they handled it. They gave everybody.
So
their money back
they did all of
account.
that. They did all that, and they literally got no money.
Oh yeah, they I think their original hope was that because their original statement when there was like the whole thing with them saying that they were not going to be supporting the game anymore, they said that you can request a refund. So I think they were hoping that people would just not request the refund and then they just get that money. But then I think Steam was like, oh no, we're just gonna give everybody their money back. And then because like it seemed like when that happened there wasn't any official statements, but then like shortly after they announced their studio shutdown.
Oh,
so that like Steam probably just like, no, fuck you guys.
Yeah. That's crazy. I didn't know that, like, because I knew that people were trying to like sell their accounts.
Yeah, I mean, people. I wouldn't doubt that they actually did.
Actually forced like all people to refund.
Yeah,
That's
like
crazy.
Anybody who bought those accounts off of like eBay or whatever, they just wasted their money.
They literally just burned their money. Wow. Plus, if you try to, I don't know why you'd even do that. That's stupid.
There was like another minor news story with Fantastic this week where
it's probably a good transition.
Yeah, I didn't really read too much into it because it's like, who cares at this point? There's so much like Fantastic controversy for that game that it's like, we get it. They're not a good game company. they ripped everybody off. They tried to scam people, and now they're shutting down maybe. But the more recent news story was just like a deeper look at the development of the day before, and like it started as like an insanely small team, and then they like kept getting more people, and it was just like a constant mess. Like like the higher ups, like. I wouldn't like it's always the case with this kind of thing where it's like it's not necessarily the developer's fault that this happens. It's people in charge that tell them what to do, like the whole Bobby Kotick thing for Blizzard and stuff like that. It's like they come in, they make bad decisions, they pull people off of certain parts of the project and then make them do something else just to cancel it, and it ruins a bunch of development time. So basically the game also just had a troubled development.
Yeah. Well, that was my like initial point before. Like how I was saying, I feel bad for whoever the community person is who's like in charge of like, or I guess their PR person. Either they're being, because I don't know how they have a job in PR, number one, but number two is like, there's no way that you'd put out like any of these statements or say any of these things unless you're being forced to by someone who's higher up.
Like, well, it's weird because that statement almost read like it was from someone higher up, and it was just relaying the message. Yeah, and it's just like because it was completely out of touch. Yeah, and usually the higher ups are completely out of touch.
It's just like one of those things where it's like, oh, I really don't want to do this. It's gonna backfire, but like if I don't do it, I'm gonna lose my job. So I guess I'll do it. And then what do you know?
So that was pretty much the Fantastic news. Just more controversy and controversy.
yeah. There's not really too much news really this week. There's we have like the PlayStation State of Play.
That'd be the biggest thing.
Yeah, and then.
There was also the Embracer thing, because Embracer acquired a bunch of Square Enix's IPs. Yeah. Because Square Enix wanted to go all in on like play to earn NFT game, so they wanted to make money for it. So they sold all their Western IPs and stuff like that. Embracer acquired most of them. Like Embracer has Tomb Raider, they have Deus Ex.
And Embracer had a lot of stuff before that, because Embracer is Gearbox, right? Like they have Gearbox.
Well, I forgot what happened with Gearbox, because Gearbox is up. I think it's up for sale right now.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Embracer has Legacy of Kain. They have a bunch of stuff that they also have Time Splitters as well. They had Saints Row, Volition. Well, I mean, I guess they still have Saints Row. They just don't have Volition. But yeah, the more recent thing is apparently there was a Deus Ex game being worked on. I don't know if it was a continuation of Mankind Divided, because the voice actor who voices Adam Jensen from Human Revolution and Mankind Divided, he said that he was never contacted for a Deus Ex game.
Oh.
So it could have just been something new. But this week they announced that the game was canceled and they laid off like 97 employees from that development branch or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just, I was happy that these games weren't, like these franchises weren't a part of Square Enix anymore. Mm-hmm. But Embracer has been slowly like they're not getting rid of the franchises, they're just also not doing anything with them or just canceling any hope of anything with them, because they got rid of Volition. So I mean, if you ever wanted a redemption for Saints Row, there's less chance of that happening.
Yeah.
They also got rid of
well, I guess we can talk about that too, but like after. Yeah.
There was like more Time Splitter stuff happening in the background.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were going to also do like a trilogy or something like that, like a re-release. They canceled that. And then, yeah, like I said, Deus Ex is the newest cancellation. So
yeah.
Tomb Raider still seems good. They are working on an Unreal Engine 5 Tomb Raider game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then there's that 1 through 3 remaster coming out this month. So Tomb Raider seems okay, but I mean, I'm a huge Legacy of Kain fan. Mm-hmm. I really want to see a new Legacy of Kain, but with Embracer, I don't know if that's gonna happen.
Yeah. I mean, because they haven't made a Legacy of Kain game or like because was Soul Reaver was. They're under the same thing, weren't they?
Yeah, it's Legacy of Kain.
Because I knew that it was like separated somehow. Like
it's
somewhat.
All connected. Yeah. It's just
well, I mean, like in the universe, I knew that it was like the same universe, but I didn't realize that the games were like made.
Yeah, the stories are connected too.
Okay.
It's kind of just like because even the Soul Reaver games it's still called Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. But like Soul Reaver is just about Raziel, and then Blood Omen is just about Kain, and then Defiance is both of them. Yeah.
So kind of to go along with this, and I had to look. I was purposely looking up the name because I wanted to get the name right. But cool story out of this for those of you who follow my channel. I had covered Saints Row pretty in depth, especially the reboot, and while it was unfortunate what happened to it, I personally enjoyed the game for what it was. It wasn't like Saints Row 1 or 2, obviously, but I still I did enjoy the game. I had some qualms with it, but we don't have to get into that in this. But the Saints Row, so Embracer just shut Volition down, but the Saints Row devs are actually forming a new studio called Shapeshifter Games, apparently. So I'm really interested to see how that goes, because I know, like, my thought in the back of my head was that they always went in this direction with Saints Row because of Deep Silver and, like, higher ups, and that's where it got, like, a little messy.
Yeah.
Was, like, just, to me, I guess I am getting into it. To me, like, the writing for Saints Row just felt all over the place, and like it was like two different writers were smushed into one trying to tell a story, and it was just kind of all over the place. But I'm excited to see what they end up doing.
They'll have a
Shapeshifter
Purist Strip.
Strip.
That's their new IP, and it'll have Ghani Jat.
Yeah. Yep. Same people. Yeah. I was sitting. I was like, what? Clear strip. I would just say a complete opposite. It's like devil something.
Yeah. Devil's block.
So there's that. But then I also wanted to go into just all the different places that Embracer actually owns.
Yeah, they own a shit ton now.
So they had like on their wiki for subsidiaries and acquisitions. Like I'm not gonna go through everything here, but like THQ Nordic, Saber Interactive, but like in there it included tons of different studios. I'm just trying to look for some of the bigger
Saber.
ones.
Evil
Saber.
Dead the game.
Yeah, Saber. I mean, they had a bunch of games.
Well, a lot of the problems that Embracer's having right now is they were supposed to have some like deal with, what was it, Saudi Arabia or whatever? It was like some huge deal where they were investing a ton of money in, and then it fell through, so they just lost a bunch of money from it. So now they're in like damage control, and they're canceling projects, laying off studios and stuff like that. So that was part of why they got rid of Volition. But I think the reception of Saints Row pushed that decision a little bit further. Like if Volition made a very successful hit, I don't think they would be gone.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, on top of that was PlayOn, which underneath PlayOn was Deep Silver. So they're like, and that has like a bunch of different Vertigo Studios. Vertigo Studios sounds very familiar to me too. I know that they've made something that we have played for sure in the past. And then they Gearbox Entertainment as well.
Yeah, they have Crystal Dynamics, which technically Avengers.
Yeah,
they could have kept supporting that if they wanted to.
Oh yeah, that's right. Freaking Crystal Dynamics. Well, that's probably another one of those where it's like, no. We're done with that.
Well, Crystal Dynamics is also like behind Tomb Raider.
But yeah, no, I know they didn't get rid of the studio, but like the game in general.
That'd be funny. Embracer just decides to do a live service sequel to Avengers.
Yeah, they also have full Dark Horse media apparently, which includes Dark Horse Comics.
Weird.
I did not know that.
I wonder if Hellboy Web of Words game studios under Embracer then
was the game studio.
I don't know.
Is it Things from Another World? They have CDE Entertainment, so that's where Crystal Dynamics and Eidos.
Yeah, Eidos,
yeah.
That's basically like Legacy of Kain.
Oh, they also have Easy Brain, which is like a ton of. So with that comes like a ton of card games and like board games and stuff. So they have Exploding Kittens. I didn't realize that like how much Embracer Group actually owns in entertainment.
Well, they're basically like a Take-Two, just not as big.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, they own a lot. They just haven't been doing that well lately, which is unfortunate because they have a lot of IPs I'd love to see return.
Yeah, I mean, they just have a lot of.
I'd like to see Saints Row return. Actually.
So would I. Yeah, that's the thing is like how it can't be that hard to just make a game.
Well, it's not. I mean, if a lot of the internal stuff for Volition between them and the publisher is true, then we would have gotten something very different if Volition had full creative control over the game. But
yeah, exactly.
A lot of what they're saying is true, a lot of the like publisher interference is the reason why it was so different. Like there was like the whole like, oh, this wouldn't work in modern times. Like this whole modern audience thing type of thing that ruins stuff a lot. It's like I don't think so. Like the problem with the Saints Row reboot is that the only people who are gonna be like the majority of people who are gonna be interested in it were gonna be Saints Row fans, and that the one thing they like actively didn't want to make the game for felt like it was just not designed for Saints Row fans. Yeah. So it's like I don't know what they're thinking. It's like we want to bring in a new audience. It's like you already have an established audience. It's like you got to focus on them. And then hopefully that brings in a new audience. Like if you just focus on the new audience, you lose the old audience. And then if you don't get the new audience, you lose everything. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened. So it's just they took a gamble on it in the worst way possible. Yeah. It's like they should have just made it like you even put the game's time period in like the early 2000s. Yeah, I mean, like who cares? Why does it have to be modern day? Yeah. Like yeah, I would like I said, what the hell just happened? I enjoyed Nothing. The screen changed. I had it like scrolled down.
Oh.
You enjoyed?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I enjoyed Saints the reboot. I mean, not as much as 1 and 2. I enjoyed it more than 4, personally. But I would probably put the reboot on the same level as like Saints Row 3. Saints Row 3 a little bit better, but
a little bit better.
Yeah, that's where,
actually pretty high praise for the reboot.
Yeah, like I said, I enjoyed the game. The writing was not great, but the gameplay was surprisingly fun.
Yeah, I haven't really even played it yet. I got it for free.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
I'll eventually check the game out. I was thinking about playing it once I play through all of the other Saints Rows eventually on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when that's going to be because
when they put out the Saints Row 2 patch.
That's never going to happen.
So they actually, in their official Discord, they actually did just recently put out, I think, like some mod that was created. Like they put it on their Discord, which I thought was weird. But it was a mod that was created to help make Saints Row 2 run better on PC, I believe. Which was interesting when I saw that come through. I didn't even realize that anyone was in control of that anymore.
Once Volition was dropped, they should have just like leaked the game source code.
Yeah.
Just
yeah. That's also interesting on how that's because it's now owned by Deep Silver technically.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how that all goes. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm excited to see what the developers who were let go from Volition, they started their own studio now, and I'm excited to see what comes out of that, or if they'll even decide to go in any route even remotely resembling Saints Row, or
they might just try something new.
Screw this.
The thing is, though, to just touch on it a little bit further, when we say like publisher interference for them, then it makes you wonder, like, well, then what happened with Agents of Mayhem? Was that publisher interference, or was that the developers also just trying something new? Because like if that's them trying something new, we've seen them try something new or change something that they were good at before, and that also failed for them. I actually like the Agents of Mayhem though. But a lot of the weird thing with Agents of Mayhem though is a lot of people are like, wow, this is a bad Saints Row game. But it was never meant to be a Saints Row game. There are Saints Row characters in it, but it's not supposed to be a Saints Row game. So like for me, I always went in with that idea, like this is more supposed to be like a weird like Crackdown style type of like urban city game.
Yeah.
So I never compared it to Saints Row. I just thought it was cool that there were Saints Row characters in it. Mm-hmm. But I mean, we've seen Volition branch out before.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's also. I mean, you see like Saints Row 3 and 4. I'm sure that was a lot of Volition. You know what I mean? And I personally like Saints Row 3 was all right, but personally Saints Row 4, I just wasn't I don't know. I didn't really like that game that much. Like the whole simulation thing, and maybe it was just something where they didn't know where else to go with this story.
I don't think they did.
But like, yeah, from that aspect, I wasn't really I didn't really enjoy that. But I mean, I'm excited to see. Now we'll finally be able to find out if if it was from publisher interference or if it was from that. I'm sure they have some new devs too that weren't on some of those projects that they'll be bringing in as well. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers that news, I believe. The only real major thing would be the state of play, I believe. Yeah. Which I didn't watch. I actually just ended up watching like the quick breakdown videos of it. So I mean, I
didn't watch the full 40-minute presentation either. I just basically went in and just watched the trailers afterwards, and then some of the interviews that happened afterwards, just to hear what people said. But yeah, a lot of stuff that they showed was stuff that they've already announced in the past. They just showed more on it, and then like Silent Hill 2 finally got like a gameplay, but I don't even know what they started with. Like there was like some minor trailers that we didn't see on that thing. Like they did show more for Helldivers 2.
Which is one that I'm excited for.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of Helldivers 1, but Helldivers 2 just looks like
Avengers.
Looks like madness. So yeah, we'll see how that ends up doing in general. I still don't know if I'm gonna get it, but I'm just interested in what they're doing with it. It seems like they're taking like Helldivers 1 and just expanding on it and making it better. So there's that. That actually comes out this week, I believe. I think it's like February 7th or February 9th. Which we can get into the game release again.
Yeah. We're probably just gonna stick with February releases though.
Yeah.
Just talk about March when it's closer to March.
Yeah.
Because I was just trying to breeze through like the more minor stuff.
Yeah.
Because then they also had for Dave the Diver fans, they're having a Godzilla crossover. I actually never played that. I just know it blew up.
Yeah.
It's like a hugely popular game now.
The indie game that's made by a AAA developer.
Pretty much, yeah. And then
I mean Godzilla's going crazy right now, so that's big.
Yeah.
Godzilla -1.
Yeah, that movie did actually really well,
Yeah.
I think. So there was that, and then I mean Sonic Generations. They're coming out with a new version of that game, but now you can play as Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have his pistols.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I've like never played.
I'm not. My brother's a huge Sonic player.
We gotta bring him in as a special guest.
Well, he like owns every version of Sonic on like every platform. Like he owns Sonic Frontiers on every platform and everything. So
I never understood the game. It's just you roll around and like just collect rings, right?
Well, the rings keep you alive. You're basically just going from one side of the stage to the other as quickly as you can.
Oh.
Basically like time trials, and then there's just some boss fights thrown in there. I mean, there's differences between Sonic games. Like there's another one where he turns into like a werehog.
Dang, nice. Who doesn't want to be a werehog?
Yeah, so like Frontier is actually like an open world game.
Okay.
So they changed it up a bit from here, but Sonic Generations is already like a game, I'm pretty sure. But like I said, now they're just re-releasing it, and you can play as Shadow. I think they probably have new levels, because when they do show the Shadow segments, it looks like the levels are specifically designed for Shadow. Like they have like a darker tone to them.
It's like Super Extra Ultimate Street Fighter 3.
Yeah.
And then they're going to release another one where you play as like Knuckles.
Knuckles might already be in it. I don't even know. Because they do that all the time. They did that with a different game where they re-released it and you can play as Knuckles and Tails now.
Really?
So, I mean, they do that all the time.
I do know some of the characters, but Knuckles is just a global meme, so...
Yeah. So those are like, yeah. Those are like the minor ones, and then I think the more minor, bigger one. And when I say minor, I'm not like saying like no one cares about these. I'm just saying like they didn't take up as much time during the state of play. Mm-hmm. There was Silent Hill stuff. There was like a free to play. It's not really a demo. It's more of just like a really short mini game that's live on PlayStation Now.
Oh yeah. That reminded me of the
PT.
Yes, PT. Yes,
Yeah,
it just feels like very, very, very similar.
Yeah, I heard it was just like all right, but I don't even remember the name of it, to be honest.
And watching the Silent Hill 2 like trailer, we had some
oh
we
yeah,
were laughing a little bit.
And then they showed Silent Hill 2 gameplay, which the game doesn't look bad overall.
Yeah.
It's just some of the things they show look kind of janky. Like the one we started laughing was the enemy that grabbed the protagonist,
but had
no
arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's just like struggling to keep this thing off of him, even though nothing's grabbing him. Yeah,
like dude, you can just like back up.
Yeah. And then they had like the melee attacks, which is just like the same side animation all the time, and then the guns kind of don't really have impact or that much sound, but like
kind of looks like a worse version of Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, well, it looks like they're definitely trying to capitalize on that whole Resident Evil remake style, which, like I said, the game might be fine. It just looks a little rough around the edges right now. But
do you know when it's scheduled to release?
No, it doesn't have a release date yet.
So I mean, they might clean that stuff up.
Yeah,
too.
like I remember for Days Gone, the other PlayStation exclusive. I remember when they showed Melee for that game first. It looked terrible.
Yeah.
Granted, the game doesn't have like a good Melee system in general, but when you compare the original trailer's animations to the final release animations, it looks way more polished on release than
I think
it
that's
did.
a game we waited like 60 years for it to finally release too.
So there is the chance that they smooth all that out.
I remember Days Gone when that first trailer dropped of like him running and up to the top of that silo thing with those things, because that was almost in like a state where it was almost gonna get canceled, wasn't it? Or it did get canceled or something like that.
I don't remember
the exact details.
There was something with that game. I just remember too at the time, because like people did not believe that the hordes are going to be that big in the final game, which granted there are a lot of hordes in that game that aren't that big, but there are a few that are huge.
That was when, because when they first showed that was like a long time ago.
Yeah.
And that was the craziest, like that gave the game so much hype, dude.
Yeah.
After seeing that.
when that game came out, it didn't do that well. Like critics were kind of hard on it, and it just didn't sell that well. But I really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
game.
I enjoyed that game as well. Yeah, it was a good one.
It was way longer than I thought it was.
Yeah,
It has like
very, very long game.
It has like a Red Dead Redemption 2 length story.
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah, like you finish one area, because I think it's one of those games where it's like you don't know that there's another area.
Yeah, the map just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like Death Stranding.
Yeah.
And
then
there was the Project Eve game.
Yeah, Stellar Blade.
Project Eve.
Yeah, it has a new name now. Yeah, I forgot that it went through 2 different names, because Project Eve was actually announced way longer than Stellar Blade, like the name change.
Mm-hmm.
That game actually has been around for a while. I think it might have even been like a PS4 game originally.
Oh, really?
And now it's all the way into the PS5 zone, which I don't think we talked about it on the podcast, but I think I mentioned it in one of your streams. That was the game with the whole like female protagonist controversy, where people were getting angry that the protagonist looked too unrealistic, and then they showed the pictures of the live model they scanned, and she looks just like the protagonist.
Her. Yeah.
So they're like, I don't know what you want. Like, it is her. So that is that game. But yeah, it looks kind of like a Nier Automata mixed with like Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, Devil May Cry-ish kind of combat.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's the theme of the game, like the characters and the style of them and stuff like that. It's usually not the type of games that I play, because they're like very like Final Fantasy-esque type.
Well, not the old
characters.
Final Fantasy, but yeah, like you mean like the style of how, yeah.
But I mean, the actual gameplay that they showed, the game does look actually like really fun and really good.
Yeah, it looks interesting. Yeah, I would agree with the Metal Gear Rising Revengeance thing, or like Devil May Cry. Yeah, it looks. I mean, I don't know if I'll personally get it. It's not really one of those types of games that I get into, but then again, Final Fantasy VII is also a game where normally I would not get into it, but it was like a part of my childhood. Find the original, so I'm solely invested into that story, which that too I believe that they're so they didn't cover it in this state of play, but they're doing one in like this upcoming week or something like that, specifically for Final Fantasy.
Yeah, they're having a state of play specifically for Rebirth.
I'm excited for that. Yeah, because that's a game coming out later this month, and I'm pumped for that. That's gonna be awesome. That is gonna be awesome. So yeah, the next one that they had that I saw was like the next bigger one was Judas.
Yeah, Judas is basically by the guy who made BioShock.
Yeah, it looks like it,
and it looks just like a BioShock game. It looks cool.
It's like it like has that. It has like those. It's weird, like whatever style he has. There's like it's like a specific art style, which it's like it's that. It's like the very. I don't want to say cartoony.
Well, it's weird though, because when you compare that to like his original style with BioShock 1 and 2, it's like that it became a style with BioShock Infinite.
Oh, okay.
Because 1 and 2, the character models and stuff like that don't look like Infinite.
Yeah.
Like Infinite has like a more animated look to it than the other games, but that did like become his style.
Yeah,
because that is what he like moves forward with.
So I don't know if We Happy Few is made by the same person or not, but We Happy Few is like the exact same style. That's why I had always thought that it was like they also had made that.
Yeah, they might have. I don't know.
But that was like a game where it was in early access. It's now released.
Yeah.
I mean, it released a while back, but yeah, that was one that was in early access for a while before. Which is it was weird because it was like one of the first bigger games to really do something like that.
Kinda. Well, I think that because that game I don't think really did well.
Yeah,
and I think it was because of that.
Yeah,
like most people just overlooked it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't play it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with Judas.
And you're the one who brought it up to me, I believe.
Maybe, but I probably mentioned at the time that.
Yeah,
I wasn't gonna get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Judas, it does look very similar to like it looks like a successor to BioShock.
I don't know what the story is about.
I don't know. They kind of it looks like people are like in a simulation almost. Like they're living, but they're not. They're seeing reality in a fake way or something like that. And then the main character breaks the illusion, and then it like maybe messes up a ton of stuff, and then they have to do something about it. But yeah, you have like your powers that you can shoot out of your hands, and it's just a very fast-paced first-person shooter type scenario. Mm-hmm. So it looks like it could be fun.
Weird.
Yeah.
It looks very weird.
So it's gonna be one of those things we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. Speaking of weird, the other one, the biggest one that they had there.
Yeah, the one that took up like most of the time slot was Death Stranding 2.
Stranding.
I mean, I know you didn't finish the first Death Stranding. But I really liked the first Death Stranding. I know that like the whole walking simulator package delivery thing, that's what turns people off of the whole series. But the storytelling, and when it does have like action set pieces, they're insane in that game.
Yeah.
Like it is insanely creative how the story's told and everything. And the second one looks like it's just going to be more of that weird, like you don't know what's going on, and then some things make sense, and then you're like, wait, what?
So you mean like
like
a
that
Hideo Kojima game?
Yeah, basically a full Hideo Kojima game. So I'm really excited for Death Stranding 2. The problem is I'll probably just wait for it to come out on PC because I know it's probably going to be a limited, because Kojima has a deal with Sony where all of his games are like timed exclusives for like a year. Mm-hmm. So I'll probably be playing Death Stranding 2. It comes out in 2025. They don't have a specific month or anything.
I think that's when I initially played the first Death Stranding. Was
PC.
On PC.
Yeah, that's when I played it.
Because I thought that it had like a bunch of issues on PlayStation at launch, didn't it? Or was it on PC at launch that it had a bunch of issues? I thought that it had some.
It might have had something on PlayStation. When it came out on PC, the only issue I had that was really annoying, which you had it too, because I remember you having it on live stream. If you didn't force Steam like input to be off for the game, your controller would just stop working. Like it would not do the right thing. Like right trigger would get him off the bike. It's like that's how you accelerate, so you'd have to like switch it. That was like the main issue. And then another issue it had was like where the whenever you would deliver packages and it would just play that little cutscene where he puts it on the conveyor belt, the animations would be like 30 FPS, but the game would be 60. And the animations would just be kind of choppy.
I had an issue when I played it where the physics of my characters got all messed up.
Oh yeah, I remember that. But that was because you didn't have the driver for it.
Okay, so it wasn't a game.
That was
issue.
kind of a user error.
It was a driver's issue. But that made for some hilarious clips. It's just like Sam's face imploding on itself.
Yeah, but you don't even have that on your channel anymore, do you?
I don't know. I think I might actually. I might have a couple clips of it.
Oh.
Always changing stuff on the channel. Yeah. So if there's something on there now, it might not always be there. Check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that pretty much covers all of that. I mean,
for Death Stranding 2. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's like a whole 10-minute trailer, so if that interests you, I'd definitely check that out. A lot of crazy stuff is happening in it.
Yeah, like for the other ones, we kind of explained a little bit. I have no clue on what's going on.
Yeah, it's funny because Death Stranding is one of those games where they could show you the ending in the trailer, and you wouldn't know. You wouldn't even understand the context of what's happening. But yeah, but then after
Gene
that,
Simmons shows up at one point.
Yeah, Troy Baker's character. But after that, like they did have an interview with Hideo Kojima where he announced that he's gonna return to like the stealth action espionage genre, like Metal Gear, but just his own new thing because he doesn't have Metal Gear anymore. But he also said that he might be branching out into movies as well, because when the camera pans out, he's at Columbia Pictures.
That would be.
So, I thought they actually announced the Death Stranding movie, but I don't know.
Imagine it'd just be like Inception, pretty much, but like weirder.
Yeah. So he's got some stuff going on.
I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, we actually skipped one though. Dragon's Dogma 2.
Yes, yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. How did we miss that one? Dragon's Dogma 2. Yeah, that comes out in March.
Yeah, March 22nd.
Yeah.
Same day as we also skipped Rise of the Ronin, which shares the same.
Oh my
release
gosh,
day.
yeah, that too. Those both look amazing. Like March is gonna be crazy for.
Yeah,
PlayStation.
they both come out at the same time. Well, Dragon's Dogma 2 I don't think it's exclusive. They just showed their game on there, but Rise of the Ronin is PlayStation exclusive.
So yeah, we'll see on that one. I might get Dragon's. Oh, I'm probably gonna get Dragon's Dogma 2 because that looks nuts. Rise of the Ronin also looks crazy. I'm a big samurai guy. I want to get both. I want to get both of them, but realistically, playing both of them at the same time, like they both look like they're gonna be
pretty massive
at least
games.
40+ hour games, if not like 60, 80 plus.
Well, they're both open world for sure.
Yeah.
Team Ninja, I don't know, because Team Ninja also made the Neo games, Neo 1 and 2.
Okay.
But I don't know how long those are because I never played them.
Oh, no, that's the Rise of the Ronin.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting because it doesn't look like it's as Souls-like.
Yeah, it looks like they're just taking certain elements of Souls-like for the combat, kind of, and then just doing something more RPG with it.
Looks insane when in the trailer that they showed, the samurai, I don't know exactly who it is, but pulls out a flamethrower. I'm like, I literally said as we're watching, I'm like, is that a flamethrower?
Yeah, you have like a musket and a flintlock pistol as well,
which is crazy. So it's like they must be covering the time period of like the fall of the samurai, which is always my favorite time period of that, because you start getting like the introduction of gunpowder and stuff into it, and it just like gets crazy. It's like the last samurai movie.
Yeah.
So that's always an interesting time period.
I wouldn't doubt that Team Ninja kind of wants this to be their like Elden Ring type game, where it's just like this open world with a bunch of stuff you can do.
I mean, that would be really, really cool. Yeah, I could see that game doing well. And that's the thing too, is one of my favorite parts, that's why I like PlayStation so much, is because I don't even think that one of the games that we saw would be like a live service microtransaction game.
Yeah, there might have been that one that I forgot the name of that could be, whatever that was called. But
I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't think that was a PlayStation exclusive game. Yeah. I think it was just some like random. It looked like a free to play game almost.
But yeah, that's what I like. Like they make games because like they like making games. You know what I mean? Like they're not making it. I'm sure. I mean, yes, they're making it to make money, obviously. But you can feel like the art and like the passion behind the process and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Dragon's Dogma is a Capcom franchise, so. It's just funny because they have like Dragon's Dogma, and then they also have Monster Hunter.
Yeah, they're both very similar. Like at least in this, like Dragon's Dogma 2 is all they showed was just giant monsters that you're fighting.
Yeah,
but
yeah, that's the main pull.
I'm in for it. I'm 100% in for it. So.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get the second one because I never played the first one. Yeah. I only ever played the demo of the first one way back on 360.
I played the first one a little bit, but way, way, way after it came out. So like I played it, but it was past its like time kind of thing. Yeah, I really should try it to pick that up again, and just. I guess try to.
Yeah, because for me, like I'm usually the type of person that needs the context in the
Yeah.
previous games to really be invested in the new one. So if I was gonna get the second one, I'd probably do like a playthrough of the first one first.
I was gonna say I don't even know how related they are, but they could be very related. It's like one of those things where it's like you create your own character. It's almost like I feel like it would almost be like how Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 1 are. Like I don't know if you technically need to play Dark Souls 1 to play
Yeah, I have
Dark
no
Souls
idea.
2.
I never played it.
I thought you had played Dark Souls.
No, I'm talking about Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah.
I never played it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got pretty far in the first Dark Souls, but I just lost interest.
Yeah. I think that covers it, unless there's another one that I'm forgetting, which I'm sure that there probably are some.
I mean, there
that
were
we're
some that
forgetting.
weren't in there. There was a live service game that they did show besides the one that I was thinking of called Foamsters. But that looks terrible.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, there is one that I could see potentially having live service elements, which is Helldivers.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I could definitely see that
probably-
having.
I think that is supposed to be a live service game, actually.
Yeah, that's the one that I could see, but for the most part, most of them didn't.
No, they seem like story driven.
Yeah.
Single player.
So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that pretty much covers the news section, unless there's any news that I'm thinking of that I'm not thinking of, I guess.
No, there hasn't really. It's mostly just been flooded with controversy for Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Like, that's like the bulk of a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So our last episode, it hadn't officially, because I believe some people got early access to it, and so it hadn't officially come out yet. But one of the big stories after we recorded our last episode was, I just saw it was like Suicide Squad already having to like shut their game servers down and stuff.
Yeah, there was that. I forgot that we talked about that on your stream.
Yeah, we didn't actually discuss it in the podcast.
Yeah. So what happened with that was like the people who really got first access to it were like in New Zealand or something like that, and a few hours after playing the game, it would just auto complete the story for them. So they had to shut down the servers for like pretty much the whole day because of that issue. And then the other part of the story was the whole like review copy thing. So there was.
I don't know if I heard this one.
Well, you mentioned it briefly because IGN said that they just didn't get a review code, which is true.
Yes.
They actually did not give IGN a review copy. Like IGN had to get their game themselves.
That's crazy.
But I think they didn't get one because of when they were invited to that one pre-show showcase for it where they lifted the NDA. The IGN said that they didn't like it. And then they just didn't get a review code, so that's probably why. Which they shouldn't do that. That's not good on Rocksteady's part to be that. Well, I guess WB's part to be that petty about it. But other companies that are like other journalist sites,
that is really funny though.
other journalist sites that did get the review copies, they couldn't play the game anyways until the servers were up. So there wasn't ever going to be reviews before the game's release. Which there's like the whole debate whether or not that was intentional on WB's end. It'll be like, no, just turn the servers on to where they have to basically play the game. So, because I mean, they've had the servers up to do these like small segments of the game in the past, so they probably could have had reviewers be able to play the game sooner. But yeah, I think they already knew that there was going to be a ton of backlash because the games they're not even going into damage control for anything. They're just letting it.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it just seems like it's like a lost cause. And that's the whole thing. Is like I feel like they know it's a lost cause.
Well, they have a season 1 roadmap, so they have to kind of commit to it.
Yeah, well, that's also why I was gonna say, like, I feel like they know it's a lost cause because they didn't allow anybody to do any reviews of it before the game technically hit the market.
Yeah, they also added Denuvo, like right before launch. Like,
so no one can
like pirate it.
Yeah.
Which there is like always a controversy with Denuvo. There have been things found with Denuvo that prove against it, and there's other instances where it's not that big of a problem. So that's mostly just a debate in the community. Either way, I don't technically agree with Denuvo because like if the game, like, we've seen games without it do well because the game itself was good.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the reason why a lot of games had de novo is because they probably, like Suicide Squad's case, they probably knew if they didn't have de novo in it, that people would just pirate it instead.
Yeah, not like they can just watch the deaths of all of the Justice League.
Yeah, the problem
YouTube
is,
right
though,
now.
with that, is, like, Suicide Squad is also one of those games that don't really need de novo anyways, because, like, usually with live service games like that, the cracked version of it can't reach the servers.
Oh, yeah.
So they wouldn't be able to play the game anyways. So, I don't know. It's just another thing piling on. It's just like, oh, you don't like this? Well, we're gonna do this, and then it's just like more. So, yeah, they're gonna have a rough few months for like the launch of this game. Well, I don't know what's gonna happen once they run through their first season of content after like the Joker and all the Elseworld stuff that they add, but I don't know. It's gonna be weird seeing how this game continues into the future. Like, will it end up like Avengers, or will there just be like a community that actually eventually builds up once all the controversy settles?
Maybe. I mean, I know that there are people who have been like really pumped for this game to come out, and they have been like really excited. That it's not me, but there have been people who have been really talking the game up, and they're like, oh, I can't wait to like see all these different skins and stuff like that. I have already gone through that phase with Avengers, and
well, now you just get all of it for free on Avengers.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I mean, for the people who are pumped for it and can get past the gameplay, I'm sure that this game is going to be awesome for them, which is, it's cool. Like, if people enjoy something, then let them enjoy it. Like,
yeah, I'm mostly
shit on
like
something that the other people enjoy.
I mean, I've seen a lot of the controversy. Like, I haven't watched any of the stuff or anything like that, but like, I'm still curious. I'm still giving the game a chance, just because it's like Batman stuff and like DC superhero stuff. But I don't know. Will I like it? We'll find out.
I mean, it is like, if you actually think about it, the fact that we're getting a Suicide Squad game that isn't like a mobile, like,
well, it might play like a
mobile like thing, or like just, you know, something like that. That it's actually like a legit game is kind of crazy to me.
Well, for me, like, if I'm gonna get the game, I'll always give it like a fair chance for like my personal preference of it, because like I'm not gonna like overhype or lie about it. Like, I'm not gonna be like, no, the game's amazing, play it. Like, I'll just tell you what I honestly think about it. But yeah, I guess I'll find out. I might find out soon, maybe tonight.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. Looking forward to it. Yeah. So yeah, that's the thing is for me that I could not. I already know myself, and I would get so bored of the outside of the main storyline. So like, that's why I was like, no on that.
My main hope is just like, you keep getting things introduced into the combat throughout the game that makes it better. Because with your starting stuff, it's just like, okay, we're just shooting them. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping that you get like new combat mechanics and like abilities to throw in there that mix it up a bit. Because you do start. I did start getting like, I got like one additional ability when it was the the stress test. Mm-hmm. That was kind of neat, but it was like an area of effect attack that you could apply to the fight. But like I said, I don't know what else you get.
And I forgot, was there like a level up system?
Well, there's like perk trees, and yeah, each character does. They didn't go the Gotham Knights route though,
where everybody
levels up with each other. Yeah, so you have to like level them up separately.
I don't see. To me, I don't mind that. It gives you a reason to play as the other characters. That was like, for me in Gotham Knights, one of the I really only played as Red Hood.
I switched between Nightwing and Batgirl basically. Robin's okay. He's got like a stealth tree.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the end game content, you don't do stealth usually. And then I do not like Robin's traversal in that game. Going into that stupid teleporter circle and then like choosing a spot to shift to.
Oh, is that how that works? Like I said, I never really played as him. I never really played as really many of the other characters.
Well, Nightwing's glider and Batgirl's gliding were way better than Red Hood's like weird
jump thing.
pads.
I didn't mind that.
Yeah, but the problem is you couldn't ascend or descend.
Yeah, that's true.
Like with Nightwing, you could easily do both. Batgirl, you had to kind of mess with it a little bit. You could easily do it before, where if you would just fly, cancel into fly, you would keep gaining altitude, but they patched that. But
to infinity and beyond.
Pretty much. If you wanted, you'd hit like the limit basically.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so I'll find out.
Yeah.
That's pretty much that news, though.
Yeah. I think next, just we can go into releases.
Well, I think the one that's coming out the soonest would probably be Helldivers 2 then.
Yeah.
Which I don't remember the exact day. I thought it was February 8th, honestly, but maybe it is the 9th because it's a Friday.
Yeah. I believe that
it could also easily have like an early access.
Yeah, that's
thing.
true. Yeah.
So it might come out even sooner than that.
Yeah, that's definitely one that February 8th.
Okay, it is the 8th.
And I was like, it's either the 7th or the 9th.
Yeah, it was smack dab in between. Yeah, because I thought I read it was 8th last podcast, but I didn't know for sure. But yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
And then I think after that, it's probably for like there's a lot of like minor things that probably come out. I'm just basically touching on the ones that stick out to me personally, or ones that are just bigger, I guess. Mm-hmm. But for me personally, there's the Tomb Raider 1 through 3 re-release coming out. It's by Aspyr, which Aspyr usually does a good job re-release. They don't do like remasters per se. They do like re-releases of old games to make them play better, and they touch up some of the visuals a bit, but they're still like the old game. So I'm excited for that. I forgot when that comes out. It might be on like the 18th or the 22nd. I don't remember the exact day. And then there's also the Dark Forces remaster, the Star Wars game.
Okay, yep.
So that should be cool. I don't know who's making that, but again, it's
Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle Katarn. But it's still the old game. It just has touched up visuals. It's not like a fully remade game or anything like that. So there's that. And then
I was thinking about that a little bit more. I know last time I was like, what's with the name Kyle? But then looking at it, you go to A New Hope and it's like Ben, Luke,
yeah,
Owen.
Yeah.
I mean Han, yeah, that's weird. I guess Leia's pretty weird to me, but it's Chewbacca.
No, Chewbacca's pretty normal.
It's my son, Chewbacca. It's just, I don't know. I guess back in the day, they just, during the Jedi Temple days, they're just like
Kyle was a popular name.
Yeah, when does that even take place? I thought that it took place later, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
Dark
does.
Forces.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, Dark Forces, because it's I don't remember the timeline. I just know that Jedi Knight takes place after, but the Stormtroopers are still around.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. It's been a while.
But yeah, I was just randomly thinking about that, like later that night.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, like there are some normal names still in Star Wars that aren't just Kyle.
But then there's also for releases. This isn't a game, but Peacemaker's eventually going to come out in February for Mortal Kombat 1.
Oh, yep.
Which then also Season 4 for the game.
Yep, I've had some people now reach out. They're like, "Where are you, man?" Because I do the how-tos.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know the how-to method for this one. If you still want to make a video, but I don't know how much. There's like 2 weeks left.
If it's the same, we'll see. Because if it's this, I might end up doing it. If it's the same for the next season
4.
I've been sort of taking an introspective look at my channel and seeing what kind of content I want to continue making and stuff. So we'll see. Me personally, I just like the developers continue just making Mortal Kombat just not a fun
rant.
Yeah. Well, actually, there is one thing that we didn't bring up on the Mortal Kombat front. It's a rumor.
Oh, the story thing?
Yeah, it's a rumor, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't talk about that. But yeah,
there's not enough info on that yet.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean It's just they continue. We'll see. We'll see if they actually do something to make it to where it's not virtually impossible, or there's no reason to actually do it.
Yeah, well, they seem to be taking into consideration the feedback behind the XP and then just doing the opposite of whatever people ask. So it'd probably get worse before. Well, it'll probably just get worse.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited for Peacemaker still, because from a gameplay perspective,
I've heard that he looks a lot like RoboCop.
yeah, well, they haven't really shown much about him, but I heard he has, like, because he's obviously going to have his pistol, but apparently he might be able to switch between different helmets.
Oh yeah, I forgot that he did that.
Yeah.
When is Peacemaker Season 2 supposed to come out?
I don't know.
That was such a good show. Like,
the
such
thing is,
a surprisingly good show.
It's caught in that weird phase now where it's like they gotta like change stuff to match, because James Gunn still wants it to be DCU, but the first season isn't really DCU, so he's gotta like alter the story.
DC,
like his part of his new universe.
Oh yeah.
So there's like, we don't have to go into that, but that's probably why it's taking a bit.
Well, because at the end, like, Aquaman's there.
Yeah, but that's technically not a part of Peacemaker anymore.
Yeah, that's.
So either Peacemaker Season 2 might just be like a new Peacemaker.
He could have just been on drugs. It could have been. It could be a multiversal story.
Could have been like the alien thing, messing with his mind.
It could be. Yeah, they could go a lot of different directions with it.
Yeah.
Or they could just never mention it again and just.
I think that's what he's probably gonna do. Just briefly mention things that happened in season 1, but ignore a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, because I don't even care. They don't even have to make it a part of it. I just want more Peacemaker. Yeah. Like, that's it. I just want more.
Well, you'll
John
get more in Mortal Kombat.
His underwear.
Maybe that'll be one of his palettes.
Yeah,
no,
right.
He's only gonna have one. Yeah, he's only gonna have one palette.
More than one.
That would give him more than Quan Chi, which is not gonna happen.
No, it's not.
But and then the biggest one would be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, right?
Yes, and that is I'm like I said, I'm pumped. I'm really excited to see what they show off, and I think it's this upcoming week, right?
Well, I would hope so, because the game's coming out.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I'm really excited to see. I just don't know what direction they're gonna go within the story.
I mean,
there's so
no
much
idea.
hype now, especially because it's. And my wife watched the last episode, where I was gonna have her play Final Fantasy VII, and then I was like, I think I might just cut this part, but I actually left the part in. It was more of a test to see if she actually watches our podcast, and she does. So I'm gonna leave this part in too, and then she'll come home and we'll laugh about it. But no, it's just like this specific part of the story in Final Fantasy that they're coming up on is just such a big part. That's why I'm curious as to whether they'll go like with just 2 parts, or if it's gonna be like a trilogy.
Maybe they're saving the finale for like some play to earn live service thing.
Oh my god,
they'll get everybody invested and then just go like, "Ha,
dude,
we got you now."
They'd get me. They would straight up get me like that. That'd be the biggest shit in our mouth.
You're gonna be like, dude, moment. I don't know what to do with this cloud NFT.
Yeah, now I mean, Jesus.
I spent $500,000 on this.
I would rant about that for every episode until the end of time.
It's possible, though.
It definitely is, and we should just. Honestly, we should cut that part so that we don't give them ideas.
Oh, they've already had that idea.
I don't know.
Dude, that's their whole New Year's resolution. Is how can we screw everybody over who likes Final Fantasy?
Oh man. Yeah. But no, I'm pumped for that one. So I know that comes out later in the month though.
Yeah, I don't know the exact release day.
Yeah. I think it comes out a little bit later in the month.
So yeah, that's her whole release schedule is just like, yeah, there's this game, but we don't know when.
No, I think it's like, I thought it was. Yeah,
it might be like the 25th or something. I don't know.
Oh, it's more so we don't know when it's coming out. It's just it's kind of coming out soon, so keep an eye out.
Yeah, it's coming out this month.
Type of thing. 29th.
29th. So yeah, it's the very end of the month.
Yes. So literally pretty much March it's coming out. Oh, I'm seeing on from Eurogamer that it might even get a demo soon.
Yeah, I actually did see that. IGN had an article for that as well,
which is interesting. It's weird that like.
I mean,
I would
didn't they
think
have
that it plays the same as just the first.
Yeah, but I thought they had a demo for that one as well.
They might have.
Yeah, I thought I seen people playing the demo before it came out.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if it plays like the first one, I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah, like
they know how to
original,
tell stories.
Like the PS1 one.
Yeah, if it plays like that'd be hilarious. They just go back to like the whole turn-based style.
The same
of, like,
graphic style too. Everybody's like cubed polygons and stuff.
There was actually a really cool thing. The really cool video I saw. I don't know who made it, but it was comparing the original Final Fantasy VII to the new shots that you see in Rebirth. It was pretty cool to see. The funny thing is, I mean, from what it looked like, they didn't really show much from Act 3 of Final Fantasy VII. But that doesn't mean that they couldn't just like lump it all in there, or it could just be a retelling of the story where there's only 2 parts or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
You should know.
Yeah.
We need to bring on someone where we just sit here and talk about Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, so I'm just sitting here.
Yeah. And you can have someone where you talk about Alan Wake. Oh, which I did finish. I don't know if I brought this up in the podcast at all, but I finished your playthrough.
I was there.
Yeah, you knew.
I watched myself watch you play the game.
You watched me watching you watch me. I was wearing the Wooger vest. I had my lights going crazy. It was really cool. So now I'm at a point where I have American Nightmare.
Yep.
I always confuse it with Undead Nightmare.
Oh.
So I wanted to make sure that I'm saying it right. Yeah, American Nightmare, and then I'll do Alan Wake 2, and then we'll actually be able to talk about it.
Yeah. Sort of. You'll probably be like, so yeah, I don't know what the hell just happened.
Yeah, we'll be able to talk about it, which we won't be able to talk about anything because of how confusing the game series is. But I think that pretty much covers it. Another shorter stream today.
Well, yeah.
Not stream, another shorter podcast.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, the other one was a lot longer because we had like a backlog of holidays and
that's true.
A bunch of news stacked up, but now it's just more streamlined.
Yeah, so
not much is happening.
Yeah, with us probably trying to at least do this weekly. It'll probably stay along this length unless there's some weeks are going to be bigger than others, obviously, with big shows and things like that. The main big shows, though, I don't know if they really do them anymore. But yeah, it'll probably be closer to this length from now on. But yeah, that pretty much covers it. I Slice by Gaming here with FLCLAFI, and if you enjoyed it and you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you guys next time.